Here's one for you. The U.S. is unprepared for workforce automation. A recent study from Oxford University estimated that as many as 47% of the jobs in developed nations will vanish in the next 25 years as a result of automation. The losses will be in both white and blue-collar jobs. As a nation, we are completely unprepared for the upheaval this will create. Decades ago, an increase in productivity and profit would have meant a rising quality of life for workers, but no longer. Automation can bring astonishing increases in productivity, but the increases in profit it brings currently benefit only a small minority. The vast majority of the spoils of automations have gone to investors and the executive classes who exert outsized economic power on our politics and markets, called neoliberalism, folks, and therefore on our lives. This has left working people poorer, less secure, and less powerful than ever. That trend will accelerate unless we act. Today's new technologies are not designed to make workers' lives easier, less dangerous, or more engaging. Their purpose is to enrich corporate coffers by eliminating many workers and squeezing more out of those who remain. Amazon, for example, is famous for its high-tech warehouses. Many functions have been automated, and the workers who remain are heavily monitored with new technology that can track everything from how many breaks they take to how many boxes they scan an hour. The technology can also generate warnings and even terminations for those deemed not sufficiently productive, returning us into robots. In return for working in such rigid and grueling situations, one analyst found Amazon warehouse workers make a median wage of $28,466 a year, while the company's CEO, Jeff Bezos, makes $8,961,187 per hour. This is a stark example, but speaks to an astonishing trend. In the United States, the top 0.1% of the population earns nearly as much as the bottom 90% of the population combined. The three richest people hold more wealth than the bottom 50% of the country. Across the world, 7 people or families have wealth equivalent to the entire bottom half of the population, almost 4 billion people. The looming tidal wave of automation will only exacerbate this staggering inequality unless we act. Envisioning a future that protects the vast working and middle class from calamity will require creative solutions. Imagine, for example, if Facebook paid its users for the data they currently contribute for free. In 2018, Facebook generated $55.8 billion in revenue with a business model designed to profit from its users' data, posts, comments, photos, and likes. Or what if companies had incentives to use technology for their workers' benefits rather than to eliminate jobs, monitor, and squeeze profit from workers and users? In Europe, automation has traditionally been viewed as a way to improve working conditions. Swedish mine workers, for example, now use joysticks to control machinery in mines from the comfort and safety of a control room above ground, and they have held on to generous benefits and wages they enjoyed before. How have they achieved this? Largely through the power of worker councils, employer-funded bodies that sit on the supervisory boards of European companies and have significant say in the introduction of new technologies. We also need to revisit the gig economy. Already 36% of workers earn their living as contract labor. Gig work offers a seductive chance to work in and where it's convenient, but the price for this perk is painfully high. Gig workers often do not receive a living wage, health care, education, or retirement benefits. Minimum wage laws do not adequately protect them, with some studies estimating they make less than $4 per hour, yet they are forbidden to unionize. And to top it all off, they will probably be among the first workers replaced by robotic systems. Places as diverse as Germany, Britain, the United States, and Kenya are beginning to rethink these inequities of power. One way is through a grassroots innovation called the Platform Co-op, which already generates more than $2.36 trillion in revenue across the globe. What are these cooperatives? Think Uber. If Uber drivers own significant equity in the company. Think Spotify. If the music streaming service was owned and run by musicians, record labels, and fans instead of a few ultra-rich Swedish guys. There are abundant models for this, including Fremondo, a German digital selling platform that operates much like eBay, except the sellers on the platform are its owners. Let's see, skipping down. Going forward, we will need a wide range of ways to address automation and the job loss that will accompany it. We should start with a digital bill of rights that includes a commitment to create technologies that serve the greater good and to rethink citizens' roles within technology and work. As individuals trying to fight for our jobs and dignity, we are helpless. But as a collective, we can come together to design and engineer a future in which technologies will serve us all. Socialism to the rescue. It is what it is. Oh, you capitalists out there thinking that you're going to win this game, especially the little guys, I don't know what you're on. And as he says at the very beginning, the fear around job automation has grown as a technology that could one day take over improves. While many argue that blue-collar jobs will be the hardest hit, research shows that white-collar jobs are also in danger. That is very true. In fact, it's probably going to be less expensive going forward to actually take a white-collar job than a blue-collar job. Because a white-collar job is built on information and not a physical machine. Physical machines are actually more expensive. They have to be created individually, and they have to be created in systems. So a robot, each individual robot is in the physical world. It has to be created. It has to be bought, designed, manufactured, and then maintained. Whereas software, once it is produced, once it is perfected, it can be infinitely copied and very quickly. So whereas you need a person, or used to need a person, to make sales calls, and that was a white-collar job that's built on information. Once that AI is perfected, you no longer need that person, and you can actually blanket a whole AI across many different sectors and many different workers. So an AI can replace thousands, maybe tens of thousands of workers at once at the touch of a button. It's very difficult to deploy 10,000 robots. So before, automated machines were a little simpler to actually replace workers because they were easy to build, and software was very difficult because the systems and the platforms that they wrote on hadn't been invented yet. But now that you have quantum computers and many, many supercomputers that run these sophisticated software programs, which all AIs actually are, and AI can copy itself and put itself on many different systems and many different platforms. All you need is the right supercomputer to deploy it, and boom. And sometimes you don't have to deploy it from a particular location. Deploy the machine, write the software, hook it up to the system, and there it goes. So don't believe it's all going to be blue-collar people. Blue-collar people have to do work in the physical world. White-collar people don't have to do work in the physical world. It's all information. And what are computers and AIs best at? Information, and they never forget. So going forward, as I always say, as Benjamin Franklin used to say, we better hang together or we will all but assuredly hang separately. Here's what it is, folks. But that's my 2 cents for now. BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.